Ha! Hey there. The day has finally come, friends. The day where we finally get to talk about the crowning achievement of gaming. The greatest series of all time, with writing so great, it rivals Shakespeare. I'm of course talking about the superhero origin of the name of the month of May. To My Name is Mayo series.
You see, someone called this game bad, a waste of time, an easy way to get a platinum trophy, shovelware, a money laundering scheme, and an incoherent pile of shit. Well, those people are a bunch of goddamn idiots. I, however, would call this peak. Being found on Steam, the Nintendo Switch, the PS Vita, the Xbox One, and the PS4, it's a diamond in the rough in a sea of shovelware. Like, come on, you're telling me there's a genie in my Szechuan sauce remastered is bad? Guess what? It is. But My Name is Mayo is different. Like, that's a fucking mayo jar. That's never been done before. This is the touching story about a mayo jar.
You're damn right it is.
This is a clicking adventure that simulates the real-life tapping of a mayo jar. Arthritis is included for free with your purchase.
Guaranteed or your money back.
The game also got rave critic reviews at the time. Plus, it fulfills my lifelong dream of wanting to touch some fucking mayo. Let's not delay. We have plenty of hands to absolutely obliterate. The good news is that if you have horrible luck with real and virtual girls, there's a good chance we just found the game for you because you can indeed sex with the mayo. Look, it's already naked and I just loaded in. I take my comically oversized hand and tap some mayo and get my first trophy.
I can already feel the sex slipping further away.
This game seems to want to capitalize on people who really want to finger f a jar of mayo. I really hope you like it because there's a long way to go. Tapping on a jar of mayo has never been so fruitful though. Like, look at all these rewards. It almost makes up for all the sex I'm missing out on. Luckily, this game knows its core audience pretty well, and thus comes the costumes, where we can make the jar of mayo follow the Gal Good formula. See, cosplays for everyone, even jars of mayo can join in on the fun. Through the use of costumes, we end up seeing this jar of mayo's thrilling backstory, which is a key component to future games. From little kid to emo teenager to parenthood. Wait, parenthood? The mayo's f***.
Alright, raise your hand. Who decided to f the jar of mayo? Alright, my guy, good job!
I guess to be fair, when you see a jar of mayo with an elephant blocking its penis, you kind of have to shoot your shot. So you might be asking, I love tapping, but what else can I do?
I thought the story was good enough for you.
Not much, but this game is more than its story though. See, don't worry, this game's got you covered. The mayo wants to educate you with a bunch of fun facts like fun fact number 1500. Every human spent about half an hour as a single cell.
Well, joke's on them, I spent several years as several cells.
Aside from the costumes, we have different backgrounds, like this one, where our jar of mayo is stuck in a saw trap in some guy's armpit. Chicks must have been in a hurry for this one. Or here, where it's literally raining shit.
Surprisingly enough, not the worst timeline possible.
It's all the big build up to the final level of the game, where once you've tapped this jar 10,000 times and completed all the costume tapping requirements, you unlock the true ending, where the lid comes off and the game tells us to open ourselves up to others, just like you open this jar of mayo.
Okay.
911, how may I assist you?
Hi there, so I guess to start off with, I kind of killed a man.
Wait, you said what?
Let's see. Most guilty of tax evasion too. That's a nice one.
Did
Oh,
the
and also
man
breaking and
actually
entering. I always
just
thought that was pretty
hold
fun. Wait, you're writing this down, right?
Yep, I'm here to help you. Just keep going.
Okay. Sweet! Thanks! You know, that made me feel real good. I'm glad I did that. Oh wait, I should probably go back. I forgot to mention the Funko Pops.
Before we move on, you know what? I feel like seeing how I stack up against the other mayo lovers in the world.
Well, that figures. There must be too much mayo lovers for them to count.
If you somehow haven't started crying yet, don't worry, there is still time. Like we have My Name is Mayo 2, the next entry to the Mayo cinematic universe. Like he's back kicking butts and having existential crises, and he's all out of butts.
Wait, he had an ass this whole time?
Be brave, be wise, unveil the stories, and maybe, just maybe, you'll learn from them. Again, it went so well the first time.
I wonder what we'll learn this time. Huh.
To start off with, we just get so much thrown at us, including our random fun fact of the day, like random fact number 77. Did you know that space smells like seared steak?
So does my kitchen, but you don't see me bragging about it.
For this game, instead of a bunch of loosely connected costumes to tell the story, we instead get 4 storylines with loosely connected costumes and text to convey the story. Spielberg, you better watch out. My name is Mayo's coming for your shit. Let's start with love. I want to see Mayo Man find his true love. The world changed, but I was still made in the shade, and my love life was bitchin'.
You're damn right it is.
Look, the COVID Mayo has a gift for us. You shouldn't have. You really shouldn't have. Turns out the Mayo lied to us. But look, it's okay. The Mayo is one of us. He's using Tinder and getting catfished by a damn ape. See, he gets us. However, his attempts at flirting aren't exactly fruitful. I mean, what would you do if someone went up to you and said,
"Hey, I can wash your infected hands as rough as you want." Oh, baby, I'm all in. Let's
But the Mayo won out after all. Thanks to peas and carrots. We even get to see how this man lives. Well, this is a shitty place. But because the Mayo was one of us, his dinner date ghosts him. And look, you made him cry. Are you happy with yourself, Mayo girl? Personally, I'm not. I don't want to see the realistic feet. So the Mayo works on himself, but got a bit too distracted cosplaying as a McDonald's wet floor sign, and he got f***ing robbed of all of his possessions aside from his food. I know you might be asking, but what does the Mayo dream about?
Let's find out.
His dream is being a mime, but his dad doesn't like that. I have to wonder, did his dad mime it out to tell him? Well, being a mime didn't work out. But you know what always manages to cheer up the Mayo? Butt plugs! Yeah, I don't know about you, but I really don't like what this implies about the Mayo cinematic universe. So after getting an inspiring pep talk from his dad, which consists of, "Are ya winning, son?" the Mayo man cheers up after seeing his dad deciding, hey, if you can't beat him, join him. He's super thrilled, as you can see. Our Mayo ends up seeing that his real passion was right in front of him the whole time. In the end, he decides that he wants to be mounted? We'll leave it at that. If you want a break from ruining your f***ing hands, well then, My Name is Mayo 2 has you covered.
Thank God, I'm all out of hands to ruin.
You see, they added little homages to other classic games, and for those of you who have never heard of an homage, the Urban Dictionary defines it as a legal way to steal a game and technically make it your own. So, what did the Mayo make its own? Let's see, in the Mayo's Pursuit of Money, we play the No Internet Dinosaur game, where we get some pretty big implications for the lore, like how the Mayo lost its virginity against a warm meatloaf, and it f***ing murdered a man. Then there's Angry Birds, but with an ape throwing its
Real life GTA money glitch.
Flappy Bird, whatever the hell this is, Doodle Jump, then we commit a murder. Scratch that. Make it 2 murders. The Mayo at least got fed. Finally, we are rewarded by seeing the Mayo's inner thoughts, like stop listening to the voices, and pizza is not friendship.
I honestly do not care. Right now, this is pretty damn close.
Finally, my Mayo just needs to work on himself, and does this by hanging out with his friends. Still pretty low though, even the chicks aren't doing much for him. Except f***ing run, the Mayo is contagious. This guy doesn't seem to mind though. In fact, he even wants to lick it. The Mayo has just had enough and tries to separate himself from society. First, he tries going to the quantum realm. Then, he tries pulling a castaway, but nothing seems to be working. So he looks into himself and finds the way to love himself is to orgasm anytime someone even gets remotely close to him. We just have one more thing left to unlock, but first, we have to get to 10,000 flicks of a Mayo jar. However, once we tap this Mayo Man 10,000 times, the game gives us the option to tap to know the truth.
Oh, this should be good.
Enlightening. Oh wait, we have our obligatory moral of the story. Treat yourself as the greatest treasure. No matter how good or bad, you are yours to keep. Your lucky numbers are 61, 5, and 43.
No shit! It's saving these for a special occasion. Alright, let's see what we got. Damn it.
Guess what, f***ers? We got a third one!
If you're still not understanding the hype, My Name is Mayo 3 tries a different tactic to show you the way and make you enjoy it. Stockholm Syndrome.
At this point, if it just keeps forcing you to play it, then eventually you'll have to enjoy it, right? Life is like a box of mayonnaise, my mama used to say.
Yeah, and your mom must be a fucking idiot then.
Eventually, you just run out of it and it stinks up the fridge.
What, like a pile of shit? Is that a threat? Just buy a new fucking jar of mayo!
Get ready to have your intellect enriched, your emotions manipulated, and your mayonnaise expanded as you unveil the stories and learn from mistakes. Our lives are too short not to be enhanced with meaningful stories like this one.
Hey, the mayo can love, the mayo can cry, the mayo can steal your damn wallet and run with it.
Also, strangely enough, we've officially entered the Not Safe for Work arc for My Name is Mayo, as this is the first and last entry in the series rated M. What the hell can be worse than a sex mayo pony? I guess we're about to find out. Turns out, they got a budget increase because our senses just get absolutely assaulted by this game. Like, what the f am I even looking at? This game feels like a goddamn acid trip. This time, the Mayo lives in a van. Better watch your ass, the Mayo is on the move. Like the last game, we have 4 different storylines. So, let's start with, I met a girl the other day. Our Mayo MC is lonely, but hey, we just solved that issue. Look at all the dancing Mayo people. The Mayo decides to cheer himself up with some pizza and meets a goth Mayo girl. I don't know if I could really call this Mayo, but whatever. We're about to get in some interspecies romance. Just try and look at this enthralling story. No, I'm being serious. With all the effects and pop-ups going on, I actually have no idea what's happening. Well, after the Mayo orders enough pizza to feed the state of Florida, the emo jar rewards his constant patronage with a kiss. This means she's our girlfriend now. Who knew it was that easy? She gets us a heart pizza. Oh, that's adorable. Well, just ignore the eyeballs, the tentacles, and the sludge on the pizza. Otherwise, it's a pretty thoughtful gesture. She takes us on a date to the graveyard where the girl licks his left ear. And what the hell is up with her tongue? Am I dating Pleakley from Lilo and Stitch? Whatever, we get invited to Spoon and our mailman is desperate for sex, so he ignores all the red flags, such as bathing in salt and bringing nails and hair. He just acts like a bull and runs straight towards those red flags. Seriously, man, how do you ignore the fact that you are tied up in what looks like a serial killer's basement? What do you know? Our definition of a date is drugging us, stealing all of our vital organs, and leaving us on the side of the road.
Well, if the conventional way of finding love doesn't work, you can always pay for it.
We find several Mayo prostitutes and we get a Mayo STD.
I guess this brings a whole new meaning to food porn.
I hate that this is a thing. I just don't want to look at it anymore.
I think maybe the developers have caught on to a winning formula here. So, why not capitalize on it? Introducing Tyler's own new business venture, food porn! And luckily, we've already found a distributor willing to work with us. We'll check in on the size of the swimming pool that I'll need to house all my cash in later.
So on to good vibes and chillaxing with Mus. For this storyline, we meet a hippie Mayo who introduces us to the wild and wacky world of the Wizard of Oz through the use of recreational drugs, which quickly turns into a nightmare fuel world, or as I like to call it, the Cartoon Network cult classic series, Secret Mountain Fort Awesome. Turns out, we never actually left the room, and Mus is very disappointed in us. Maybe because he ended up shitting all over his room in your drug-fueled rampage. Time for our last random fact of the day. This random fact, number 584, tells us that it's basically impossible to hum while holding your nose. Just try it. Next up, we follow the Mayo as he tries to follow his true passion, becoming a brony. But he decides it's f***ing lame, and leaves, and dodges his dad's call because, well, would you want to explain what the hell a brony is to your parents? Instead, the Mayo would rather spend hours upon hours watching YouTube. Or make that days, I guess. Apparently, YouTube loosened up their no porn rules because look, that is indeed a YouTube, and that is a hentai. The Mayo man decides he wants to be a YouTuber, so y'all better watch your f***ing backs. He's coming for your shit. The Mayo decides to focus on fetish content because, how else would you explain this? Turns out, this was the right choice because he already has 10 subs. The jar is so damn proud of himself that he decides his dad has to know he got 10 friends to sub to him.
Don't even try to deny it. We all do it.
But his dad isn't picking up. Looks like it's because he f***ing died. What the hell? Why is it so dark all of a sudden? The longest journey begins with a single step. I think it's time for a trip. What that means is that as a way to reconnect with our dead dad, we decide to go on a soul-searching journey where we must now walk 10 real goddamn miles along this nature trail to really dig deep within yourself. The only problem is that you're a f***ing jar of mayo whose max speed seems to be capped out at -3 miles per hour. Luckily, there is a way to speed up the process though. Hard drugs. Just take the mushrooms found along the path and you'll either play a short minigame or go completely blind. Either way, you'll move much faster. Every mile or so, you'll get little thoughts from our orphan male, which reveals a lot about his backstory, including how his dad actively encouraged him to get high, but only if it's in a pizza. Gotta make sure it tastes good before you start tripping balls. Or how his dad's scalp fell off and hit a man in the dick.
Riveting.
Eventually, we make it to the end of the trail where we see the dead Mayo dad from heaven. This man then proceeds to give us like 5 different morals to end the game out on. I guess they knew it was their last hurrah and wanted to educate the 3 kids who are playing this. They end the series out on an important piece of advice that life wouldn't be complete without. $2 are better than 1.
So that was the My Name is Mayo series, and unfortunately guys, Pornhub deleted the video. I know. Must have just been too damn sexy for them. Luckily though, I do sell my backup option. OnlyFans! Wait. Son of a bitch.
This game series is a masterpiece in how to play to your fans' expectations. I mean, they just got better and more creative as time went on. Like, the creativity of this game is unrivaled. No other game in existence has come close to the creativity of a jar of mayo with gorilla arms and a butt plug. The story for the series was surprisingly deep. Like, it got to me, man.
I know you might be saying, Tyler, it's just a f***ing jar of mayo. How the hell was that compelling? And to that I say, do you have eyes?
Plus, them choosing to go with the anthology route for their storyline is super bold. Even though some might say that the story was almost non-existent and the writing is dull and cringeworthy. But come on, the Mayo was a sex pony, that more than makes up for it. That and the 20-minute Mayo sex scene really just tied the whole game together. Some might also say that the gameplay is garbage and hurts their hands to play, or is just flat out bullshit. But once you get past the arthritis, the game goes pretty crazy. Plus, hey, they weren't lying. Now I'll be arthritic my whole life. Thanks, Mayo!
Now I'd like to consider myself a purveyor of all Mayo-based entertainment. So, how would I rate these games out of 10? Well...
Thanks to this game, I've truly learned the meaning of gaining PlayStation trophy levels. PlayStation trophy levels, friendship, same thing.
Wait though, what's the threshold to be f***able at PlayStation?
325 and below? Damn it!
Why'd I bother trusting my horoscope to judge the quality of my games? At least now I can finally be honest with myself about this shovelware piece of garbage. Like, I ruined my hands for this, and for what? PlayStation trophy levels? Like, I was innocent 17 minutes ago, and now, now, I know the depths of Mayo depravity. And apparently, the Mayo are just as desperate as us. But not as desperate as B to finally be rid of this piece of shit game. This game blows.